Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Welcome back. I am back in Portland, back in the studio here. So we're going to do another round of whatever this show is, talking about live streaming ATEM's YoloBoxes and apparently now OBS. If you missed last week's show, I was in London traveling for work, and I decided that I didn't want to bring anything special for live streaming, but I was there on a Sunday evening, which is my normal live stream time. Portland, 10 a.m. Pacific time, ends up being 5 or 6 p.m. in UK or Central Europe. And I was like, you know what? I'm here for work. The whole week, I'm just going to be like lugging all this stuff around. So what would happen if I just didn't bring anything special? So it was an interesting experiment. I used my M2 MacBook Air running OBS, and I used what did I use? My phone as the camera. And that was wirelessly connected, and then it was also switched into desk view. It went surprisingly well. I wasn't really sure what to think of it. But it did work quite well, and it's tempting. Part of one of the advantages that I have of having that setup worked, which worked just kind of didn't have to change much, was I already use OBS in this show right now, which is what I am doing to show the chat. So, is my keyboard not connected? No, it is. Okay, there we go. So the chat messages that you see are showing up through OBS already. It's just that they are not normally how you would use OBS. So what I've got is you'll see my computer screen here. There is a browser source in OBS, which is the viewer for my chat messages, and that shows up in OBS, and then OBS is actually outputting to the deck link output, which is actually an Ultra Studio 4K, not the deck link, but that is plugged into the Mac over Thunderbolt. And then it is set to external keyer, which means it'll actually output two channels. One is the colors, one is the transparency of the alpha channel. And that gives you a very crisp output you can bring into the ATEM to key things properly in the ATEM. So the that's why we get the nice clean edges around the browser source. It's because it's not using like a Luma key. Now, if it was just in OBS and the whole stream is in OBS, same thing. So in this stream, I only have the chat, and I usually add. Oh, I have H2R graphics in here also. So if I say ask a question with Q in the front, then my little H2R banner shows up. You really should use H2R for more than just that, which is, it seems to be what I'm only using it for. And I got other stuff in here that I play with sometimes, but I did an experiment and I just ran my iPhone into OBS and streamed from OBS, and it worked. So, yeah, not gonna like switch over everything in here immediately because it was, it is limiting, but it was good enough for traveling, so that's good to keep that in mind. Okay, let's see who we got in the chat here. Oh yeah, IT Never Gets Old says it did freeze on one of the scenes. It's true. I don't know why, but one of the, what was that? Oh, it was the desktop capture had frozen at some point. No idea. No idea why. Okay, so welcome everybody. See some old faces and some new faces. Oh, this is from the, wait, where are you seeing this? Is this from the behind the scenes stream? Why is it not showing me where the chats come from? It is. I don't know why my little legend is not working today. Okay. So members of the channel are watching a behind the scenes stream of this show right now, starting a little bit earlier than I went live, and watch me scramble to put things together and set things up. And so far today, I didn't have to do much because everything was already turned on, but they are looking at the picture from that little camera sitting up there, which looks like this. So there is all sorts of mess in the studio today because I have still not actually unpacked. And the stepper motor is on that thing with the tube on the top, which is an old experiment that I was working on several years ago that I did not finish, but it was for an automatic cat feeder. So it's a cereal dispenser, and there's a little like the little thing that you hand crank. I attached that stepper motor to the shaft, so I should be able to hand crank the thing. And then there's like a scale on the bottom, so it knows if the food went out, and there's a sensor in the lid to tell how far down the chute food is left. Anyway, I got it all like built, but I hadn't done any of the coding yet. And then I got too busy traveling in 2019, never came back to it. And now 4 years later, there are approximately a bazillion automatic cat feeders on the market, and many of them are in fact Wi-Fi connected. So don't know if I'm going to finish that project. Yeah. So, what is happening? Extremely, extremely messy. So, one of the one of the yeah, one of my goals here is to get this cleaned up, but I just got back on Friday, so I haven't really had a chance. I don't have a great excuse for not working on this all day yesterday, except that I was playing with home automation all day yesterday. So yeah. John says, so you missed your chance to be a billionaire. Yeah, right. Oh, speaking of home automation, something Aaron said made our voice activated trash bin open and close. That's weird. Also, voice activated trash can. Okay. I have skip the cat feeder. Do finish the ChaosNet enclosure. Yeah, that is the priority for electronics projects right now. Now that I have now that everything is here and I can actually unpack. So Emerald Audiovisual says, good enough for a travel in a stationary setting, but not good for IRL streams. Oh yeah, I would not use OBS for an IRL stream for a number of reasons. Mainly that like the last thing you want to do is like have a laptop that you're carrying around. But yeah. Do you have any plans to show that one switcher that you received a month ago or so? I know, I can't believe it's already been a month. I feel really bad. Moving just through everything out the window as far as scheduling and planning goes. I am planning on doing that. And as soon as I get that table cleared off, that is like the next thing I'm going to do. Because I do want to share that. And I believe the release date is coming up in just a couple of weeks. So I'm hoping to actually hit that date. So, also got the new OBS Tail Air is on its way. I'm excited about that, to give that a shot as well. So hopefully I can get this cleaned up, because there's going to be a whole bunch of things to film again as soon as I get my work surface back. Home automation and cat automation. Yeah, I do. I have so many home automation projects. I'm going to have to save all that for the House Files channel, because otherwise this channel would just turn into a home automation channel. And I think not everybody wants that. So, okay. Oh yeah, thank you. And for OBS, I was using the phone and the MacBook webcam. The MacBook webcam was just there for funsies. I would not recommend doing it because it was not great quality. Don't forget the trip to IBC next month. I know, I can't even believe it. It's literally 2.5 weeks until I leave for the next trip, which is IBC. I'm like, I got a non-refundable hotel, so I have to go. But I was like this close to being like, forget it. I'm just going to stay home and work on videos. Does the Obsbot tail have a companion module? I haven't looked yet, but I will definitely find out. Reaction YouTube says your live streaming looks crisp. What is your bitrate? I am streaming from the web presenter, which, let's see if this camera is working today. Oh, it is. You can see the output of the web presenter up there. It is 6 megabits pretty consistently when I'm showing a video. And if I switch over to like show my computer screen, then it'll be a lot less than 6 megabits. It's variable bitrate, which is good in some ways and not so good in other ways. So if I switch over to this, the bitrate's going to drop down to like, now it's at 5, now it's 4. It'll drop down to 3 in a second, because it doesn't need as much data to encode like a mostly not moving picture. So okay, now it's stabilized at like 2.8. So if I go back to this, it'll jump back up to 6. Yeah, seems to work well. Michael says, I was just going to ask about the Tail Air. I'm excited about that as a replacement for the Link. Yeah, the Link is a great webcam, but it's a USB webcam. So if you want to use it with your ATEM, then like there's not really a good option for that. The little converters work. The little Obsbot makes one, or it's actually RGB Link, but Obsbot sells it, and it works. It's fine, but like it's more expensive than the camera, so it's kind of pointless. So, the Tail Air, I'm excited for that because it'll bring all the auto tracking features with HDMI out. So that's exciting. Yes. Graham says, good to see you on your map. Oh yeah, I really need to just like hard code that so that when I when I first load the map, it'll just put me wherever I am. So that'd be a good project. Do you think you'll use OBS or the YoloBox at IBC? Good question. Good question. Oh, Alonso says, I'll be at IBC and visit YoloLive's booth. I work for the Italian reseller. Oh, great. Well, I will probably meet you there then. Yeah, I guess I will be there on a Sunday. Although, isn't Sunday one of the IBC days? So it'll be like Sunday evening there. And I don't know what the schedule is going to be like. So we'll find out. Reaction YouTube says, in YoloBox Pro, I have 8 megabits bitrate, but it still does not look as crisp. Well, it could be that... So the camera and the lighting is also extremely important to get a good picture. And I would say that might be what's going on too. Although I just realized my lighting I haven't fixed. Yeah, I haven't moved my rear light back to where it's supposed to go. I was doing something with it, so it's shining on the wall. It's shining down. Oh, it was for the cat stream. The light that's normally my hair light is actually shining at the floor now, and that makes it look even more crisp because it makes me pop out from the background. But I would say lighting top priority for that. If you want to get a good picture, then prioritize good lighting, bright lighting, and good cameras, and that'll make because like even when I use, well, you know what I should do is I don't think I have it close by right now, but I should do a comparison with this same lighting to just compare the encoder and the YoloBox versus the web presenter. And I have a feeling they're not that much going to be a different, can be that much different of a picture. So, yeah. James says, is the tail air shipping yet? Don't see it on their site. No, it's not actually released yet. So I'm getting like the pre-release, and that's coming out. They said, I don't remember now. It's a couple weeks. So I'm hoping I can get some demos and stuff out like to time it with the release. But I'm excited to actually get to shoot with that. You might do a multicam thing with John. Yeah, maybe that's what we should do, is do like a IBC live stream from the show floor or something. I would say, so OBS or YoloBox, like the OBS worked great, but what I was doing in London was I was just in my hotel room with one camera and I didn't have anything else to show. I don't think I would do a plain OBS live stream if I was going to have like 3 cameras. So as soon as you get to more than one camera, then I don't want to have a bunch of capture cards dangling out of OBS. And I don't know how many iPhones it can support concurrently. Also, I don't have that many iPhones. So I think that would be a strong motivation to bring the YoloBox, because then you just get, 3 cameras in automatically. Eric says, yes, the cat stream seems like a lifetime ago. It really does. It was only like 2 weeks ago that we moved here, but I've already been to London and back in that time. And it's been a long project. So while I was moving, I had the cat down here in the studio in a little tent enclosure, live streaming for like the whole 6 hours or whatever, while we were biking everything over to the house up here, and then stomping around upstairs, and it was just like 70 people here. So it was giant. It was just massive chaos. So she was down here in the quiet studio being chill, and that worked out great. Oh, speaking of which, so the move, I need to drop this link here because we moved everything on bicycles, and it was like 70 people came and helped move stuff, and one of our friends made a video about the bike move. So that video is now out, and I wanted to share the link since I mentioned it before. Here is, if you've ever wondered what it's like to move everything by bike, I just dropped the link in the chat to the video, and let me go find a quick little. This was from the video talking about packing everything and eventually the move itself. So we had so many bikes show up and just haul all the boxes. It was a lot of fun. It was great. So go ahead and take a look at that video. It's from the Bike Stuff PDX channel, and go subscribe to his channel too if you're curious about bike stuff in Portland. So yeah, a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Good evening, Sven. Thanks for joining. Nutmeg Notebook says, our daughter has voice-activated trash can. Our son has automatic cat feeder. The cat sits in front of it forever waiting. Our cat has figured out the sound that it makes and will like rush downstairs as soon as it starts making the little dispensing sound. The bike move looks amazing. It was amazing. It was extremely efficient. Highly recommended if you can get a bunch of friends together with bikes. Okay, let me scroll back and see if there were some questions here I can help answer. TVJ says, any update on the Chrome chat issue we've been experiencing? Okay, this is so weird. So the Chrome extension for chat is, let's see. Oh, I don't have it installed on this or enabled on this browser apparently. Let's turn that on and go here. So this is the extension, and you can either use it like this, where you can like screen capture your computer, or you can do this overlay URL where it pops out into a new window where you can click on messages and they show up in the little pop-out window. So if you are not using the pop-out window though, then the problem is, oh boy, I have to switch this back to regular window. There we go. So if you're not using the pop-out, some people are having this weird problem where when they click on a message, it will also click the little 3 drop-downs, and this, if the window is like a certain size, this ends up being in the area that gets screen captured. And I cannot for the life of me figure out why. Because like you can see, it's not doing it for me. It's not opening that, but on Lily's computer, it is. And I've heard lots of reports about this happening, and I cannot figure out what is going on. So it has something to do with the, with like, when you click, it's not, the extension's not like canceling the click event, and it's like bubbling through and clicking this little thing. And I cannot for the life of me figure it out. So it is happening to Lily, and I have not been at home for a while, so I haven't been able to like take a look at her computer. But now that I'm back, I'm gonna try to get a hold of her computer when she's back after work today. Although I don't even know if we're gonna have a chance today because there's a lot of other stuff going on this evening. Anyway, next time I'm gonna get a hold of that computer, open up the developer tools, try to figure out what is going on, because I need someone's computer that this is actually happening to. I've tried multiple different browsers, multiple different computers, and it is not doing it for me at all. So I have no idea. Is it a single click versus double click issue? I don't think so. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. So weird. So yeah, is there an update? No, except that I can't figure out why it's happening for some people. The workaround is use the pop-out chat, because then you're capturing a dedicated window for it and not capturing your main screen where the little overlay appears. But that's not going to work for everybody, of course. John says OBS can also support NDI or USB cameras. It's true. But as soon as you start doing that, I do get worried about overloading the computer with too much stuff. So NDI is going to require a good network and probably wired, which means that now I have to bring a network cables and wire everything. And if it is on Wi-Fi, then I bring my own router because I'm not going to trust the hotel Wi-Fi to send NDI streams over the network. So yeah, yeah. Emerald Audiovisual says, I've been testing the DJI Osmo Action 4 webcam output on the YoloBox today, and it works. Oh, that's cool. DJI implemented full stabilization for the webcam on that camera, but didn't tell us. That is very cool. I think that's great. I haven't even looked at the specs of the Action 4 yet because I have too many action cameras already. But that's good to know. Because yeah, most of the time those cameras don't implement stabilization on the USB out for some reason, but that's great that they are finally doing that. John says, I saw your review of the AV Matrix HS, oh yeah, that long name, a couple of years ago and end up buying it for a group I work with. I noticed AV Matrix now has a combo HDMI SDI mixer with a flip-up monitor. That's not too bad. PVS 0403U. That's their model numbers, man. Let's take a look at this. Oh, that's cute. It looks like, yeah, it looks like the same thing, but it's with a monitor built in. This looks almost exactly identical to it. That's cute. It looks like it's probably the same mixer with a little built-in monitor. That's very cool. Not a bad option. And the combo HDMI SDI is nice. Where are the ports? So you get, can we zoom in on this? Nope. 2 SDI, 2 HDMI. Looks like multi-view, and I can't read that. Maybe program. Why would you have 2 programs? That's interesting. Is this one clear? It is program, yeah. 2 SDI, 2 HDMI. Does that mean you have 4 inputs? Yeah, okay, that's cool. Cute. What camera is streaming right now? This is all of my cameras in the studio are now the Lumix BGH1. I did that a while ago. I have a video about setting it all up, but they are great little cameras. They're box cameras, and I'll drop a link in the chat to this. But they before that I was using the Lumix G7 cameras with the same lenses that I'm using on these, which is nice, and they are also quite good, surprisingly good. But I got the box cameras so that they're all network controlled and don't have any screens on them anymore. So it's been fun. It's been nice. Jules has a question from earlier. What are the steps to change one's IP address outputting online? I don't know if I understand the question. The IP address that you're going to get is going to be assigned by your ISP, so you probably can't change it. And so I don't know. I don't understand exactly what you're trying to do that would require you to change it. David says, is that an Apple IIe behind your right shoulder on the shelf? It is not a 2E. It's a Macintosh SE. Yeah, it's unfortunately not working. Just the hard drive, I guess, died. So at some point I would love to get that booting up again, but extremely low down on the priority list. Let's just put it that way. Nick says, okay, with a 4ME Constellation HD, that's the one I'm using. Is it possible to combine super sources to get more remote guests into a panel view? Actually, yeah, it is. So there is a feature in the 4ME. This should work with any ATEM that has 2 super sources. So it's called Enable Cascade. So if you do this, essentially what it does is it gives you well, cascade is a decent way to describe it, but basically instead of having them be completely separate, all of the boxes on the second super source just get overlaid on top of the first super source. So I do that, then yeah, you see how all those other things appeared underneath. I guess it's behind. Super source 1 is on top. I have my super source 2. Let me show you that layout. This is super source 2. I don't know what cameras are there. Apparently nothing good. All my cameras are all messed up. Anyway, this is what's in super source 2. This is super source 1. So if I enable cascade, you'll see that that just appeared behind it. So if I were to try to recreate a better layout for this, like panel style, you absolutely could. So you could, as long as you just have to place these differently. So super source 2, instead of that layout, I could do like, okay, here's my computer. Let's shrink that one, and see how I'm just like moving it around behind all the super source 1 boxes. The super source 1 box is the, or super source 1 layout is just me with my computer next to it over there. And the super source 2 boxes are down here. So we can make that one be, oh, the Apple TV isn't even on. Probably because everything was shut off. There we go. And I need to get it back on Wi-Fi because I changed all my Wi-Fi. But there's my Apple TV back there. Box 3 is somewhere hiding. We can move it around. There's box 3. That one could be my overhead camera. So yeah, you absolutely can. So if you wanted like the panel layout, then of course you would crop all these. So you can crop, you imagine you would add a crop here and like crop it to look like it's vertical. That was a square, maybe a 9. Yeah. And now you can like put all those in a row if you wanted to. It takes a lot to create these layouts, but absolutely can. The key feature there is called enable cascade right there. And there we go, back to normal. Super helpful, thanks. I could not figure it out from the Blackmagic website. The website's not super great about the details of all those features, but I will say their manuals are pretty comprehensive. So it is actually worth reading the manuals there. Has ATEM added cascading super source in Mix Effect? Ooh, I don't know. Good question. I don't have it here. I left my iPad upstairs apparently, and I don't have it installed on my Mac. Yeah. I can't wait to get this place put back together. It's so annoying having it just be such a mess. Yeah, oh well. Smith one says, looks like people who are watching are not liking the stream. Weird. Yes, do give us a thumbs up. Thank you for the reminder. Nutmeg Notebook. What is your favorite wireless component brand to get from an iPhone 10 to the ATEM Mini? I need a transmitter and receiver can be hardwired to the network. Great question. I would say from an iPhone, if you're using Filmic with clean HDMI out, there's a couple other apps that work simpler than Filmic, but if you're happy with Filmic, it's totally fine. Keep using it. I would say the easiest option is to get an actual Apple TV. And if you get an Apple TV, then you just go to on your iPhone, you just go to your mirroring settings, and you just do like screen mirroring and mirror to the Apple TV. And then it will share your entire phone screen to the Apple TV, but Filmic will then see the screen share wirelessly as a separate monitor, and it'll output the clean feed over that. And it does a surprisingly good job. And easiest, that's the easiest. It's also pretty affordable because the Apple TVs are not super expensive. And the nice thing is that it means there is nothing else on your phone. Like it's just the phone to the Apple TV. The downside is it requires that both of those are on a Wi-Fi network that's decent. So it works fine in a studio environment, but maybe not so much on the road. But if you want more tips, I do have a video that goes through a couple of other options. This was actually 3 months ago. But yeah, it goes through a couple of other options for wireless iPhone to ATEM Mini. Goes through a couple other options for what you have there, including if you don't want to rely on a Wi-Fi network. So yeah, do take a look at the video. Great question, though. Oh, Neil says, you have the infrastructure and could treat yourself as a remote guest and stream to the studio from the hotel. Yeah. I did that a couple times ages ago. And one thing that I found with that is that the network connection from the hotel into my studio is often slower than the network connection from the hotel to YouTube. And one time I actually worked around that by streaming from hotel to Amazon to AWS, and then having like a relay where AWS streamed back to my studio. And that way I took advantage of like the faster backbones that Amazon has between the continents. And it worked actually a lot better. So that is interesting. But of course, then you have to run a server and pay for all the bandwidth for that. But was good to know that it made a notable difference. But I haven't done that in a while. I've just been going from the YoloBox for a long time now. MediaRex agrees with the Filmic Apple TV combo. Yeah, I think it's definitely the easiest. Hands down, simplest. Oh, speaking of Filmic, Apple TV, etc. So I was in London last week during Lily's live stream time, which was, she streams at 5 p.m. local time, which means it was like 2 a.m. in London. And I was not going to stay up till 2 a.m. because I had to like give a talk in the morning the next day. And unfortunately, everything failed on her live stream kit. So I had set it up the week before and she did a live stream successfully from it. And for some reason, everything just fell apart. I don't exactly know what happened, but like I think actually part of the problem was that I forgot before I left that I deleted one of the Wi-Fi networks that the Apple TV was on, so that just wasn't going to work. But for some reason, like Companion had disconnected from the Stream Deck, so the buttons weren't there. And if the buttons aren't there, then she's like got to press all the buttons on the ATEM itself and deal with don't have access to the macros and things like that. And the other problem was that, let's see, do I have a picture of this? Because it was learned a lesson. Let's just say that about about setting up rigs. Where did I put this picture? I thought I put it in the members Discord, but I don't see it there. If somebody remembers if I put it there, it's the picture of her kit. And no. Okay. I got to find it because it's like it's ridiculous. What I did was her desk is in, she moved her same desk, which is an IKEA desktop, which was on top of a file cabinet and had legs at the last place, but now it's attached, one side's attached to a Kallax shelf. And this will make more sense if I can just show you the picture. I swear I took a picture of it. There it is. So, oh, and I don't think my Apple TV is not even on the network, so let's get this over to my computer. So I can show you the photo because it's worth it, trust me. Lily pulled through. The show must go on. Yeah. Oh, MT says, I think two devices on the hotel Wi-Fi wouldn't see each other. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of Wi-Fi networks, public Wi-Fi networks, do like client isolation where clients can't talk to each other on the network. Not everybody does that, but like absolutely do not rely on that behavior. Do not rely on expecting two things on the same hotel Wi-Fi to see each other. So, not a good bet to be making. Okay, so here was her stream from last week. So you can see we've got the kitchen right over there, and then her desk with the file cabinet, and then this Calyx, and the tabletop is like bolted to it. And then on the Varipole, which is being supported by this beam on the top because the ceiling is vaulted, which so wouldn't fit. On the Varipole, one of the reasons I use a Varipole there instead of like a tripod or a C-stand is because I didn't want to eat up all the floor space with the little legs that go everywhere. So this is a great option for that. Saves a lot of space. And the monitor, camera, microphone, and light are all just bolted to the pole. This worked great the first time. So where's all the video gear? Well, it's all inside that one. And that looks like this. And this was before I put the... oh, shoot. This was before I added the network switch. So it got even more crowded in there. But like, basically... everything is just jammed in there. That's a giant battery. All the things are plugged into that. I've got the, oh yeah, everything wasn't actually rigged up yet, but the audio mixer is in there. The video playback, the companion Raspberry Pi is sitting back there. That is the encoder for the multi-view, which is now wired in. And then there's like a network switch sitting on top of all this. So crowded, to say the least. And also, this makes it actually look a lot better than it is because there's even more cables in here once everything got put together. Essentially, it meant that absolutely nothing is able to be used when it's in there. So I think the Apple TV is like sitting on top there. Oh, the Chromecast is in here somewhere. I lost track of it. I don't even know where the Chromecast went. Anyway, giant disaster. And for some reasons, the Raspberry Pi was not working with the Stream Deck. And didn't know why. And we, like, she just had to deal with it and, like, figure it out. So she was, like, pulling stuff out of there, trying to, like, push the actual buttons on the ATEM. And not having a good time with it. So, yeah, thing that we learned was let's make sure all the devices are accessible. Graham says, I'm sure you could print a composite stand so all the kit can be neatly held. I don't think that's held, yes. Accessible, no. Because, like, if you want to be able to... Frankly, you need to be able to reboot devices, right? You need to be able to, like, oh, the Chromecast is just stuck. Well, I need to power cycle it so that it comes back online. So like good luck trying to find the Chromecast in that pile of that big mess. So I think the plan is to get like a skinny rolling what do you call it, like rolling rack tray, and put it next to this. So you can get them with like 3 or 4 shelves, and the 3 or 4 shelves would then let me, like, it'll be about the same footprint as the ATEM, each shelf would be. So the ATEM can sit on top so that you can reach the buttons. She will have to like go off camera to do that, but that's fine. She doesn't need to for normal operations. Normally she'll just be pushing the Stream Deck buttons. But in case of emergencies, everything will be there. So ATEM on top. The next layer can have like the audio interface, the Apple TV with a very clearly accessible power cord so you can power cycle it if you need to. All that kind of stuff. So that is the plan. Or we switch her over to OBS, which will not work with her current laptop, which is my old laptop, which is very old. and struggling, but she's considering getting the M2 Air, which is the same one I have, and that one might work fine. So we still want to use this camera, so we would run this into a capture card, maybe an ATEM Mini, and she's using my chat with OBS, so she would already be able to use the pop-out chat option pulled into OBS. I would still set up a Stream Deck to automate the OBS scenes because it's easier to push physical buttons than deal with OBS. Also, she wants to use her computer to read the chat or share graphics and stuff. So we're gonna have to think about that option. And I'm kind of tempted to try it just because it means that a lot of the physical gear will not be needed. And if that works, then we'll lose out on a couple of things like it'll be harder to add multiple cameras. So, but if we had the ATEM Mini feeding into OBS, we could at least do full switching that way. Or even some picture-in-picture layouts. We just lose the side-by-side unless we're using the extreme, but the whole point of this would be to like not have the extreme there because it's just so huge. So yeah, curious about your thoughts. Do you think we should switch her show over to OBS with or without an ATEM Mini? HyperDeck, ATEM, Chromecast, Apple TV, Network Switch, Stream Deck, and power cables. Oh, and a little HDMI encoder for the multi-view so that I can pull her multi-view remotely. That's a lot of junk in there. M2 Air and OBS, I would consider it for oh my dollar. Why not? It could be an interesting experiment. I'm curious if I'm like forgetting something that she does on the show that like will be extra difficult in OBS for some reason, but she does do the top-down camera, which we don't have a good solution for right now anyway. So maybe the top-down camera turns into her phone shared as like a wireless webcam like I did last week. And then just like the main camera. And then the Mac can probably handle that if she did want to do like the side-by-side. So top-down camera for like desk shots like this with a super source layout so that it's, that's when she'll do like planner stuff, right? So it's tempting. It's very tempting. I did think it would work, and it did work 2 weeks ago. It was perfectly fine. Everything worked fantastically. So yeah, I don't know. What was the USB to HDMI adapter you mentioned earlier to convert a USB camera to HDMI output? I've got a link to that in a video, but let me see if I can find it really quick. How do I find it? What was it called? I don't remember the name. Oh, there it is. Oh, it doesn't have like a real name. That's why. This is the link. So if you're curious, the best way to find these links is on this this website I made, aaronpk.tv/products. And if you go there, you can just like type in keywords like ATEM Mini, and you can find links that these are all links that like I've put into videos before. So you won't see the send to chat button, but this is how I can send it to the chat automatically. But if you're not logged in, you just get the link and you can click on it. Lots of ATEM Mini stuff. But anyway, search for, Obsbot, and you'll find like all the different Obsbot products. So it's a good way to find links that I've mentioned before. And that's usually what I'm using when I'm finding these links for you too. Isn't there a problem with using your phone for a live stream? What if somebody calls? That is an excellent point. Definitely a problem. So you can put your phone into do not disturb mode, which I always do anyway, and actually have it set up on a schedule, which, where is that? It's somewhere in here. It's in focus. So in the settings for the phone, there's focus, This is at least on iPhone. I don't know about Android, but you can create different modes and then you can create schedules for them. So I have a streaming focus mode, and it says you can actually mute all notifications except from certain people or apps. You can change what's on your home screen, which I didn't bother doing. But the important part here is setting a schedule. So it will automatically switch into this mode during certain times. And I've been doing that for quite a while now, which is great because I never have to worry about remembering to turn this on. The only problem is that this is based on the local time of the phone. So if I'm in a different time zone, then it's wrong. So, but when I'm here, it's fine. It works great. Once it's in this mode, then if somebody calls, it's just not going to do anything. So no interruptions. So it's great. Obsbot to USB HDMI works well. Bought it on your recommendation. Glad to hear it. Very glad it's working for you. Another great question from Nick. What do people think about using Wi-Fi enabled smart plugs to power cycle hard to reach items? I think it's a fantastic option. I have a not Wi-Fi, but a hardwired power strip in that rack that gives me 8 network controllable outlets. So I actually have buttons on my Stream Deck, which let me power cycle different devices. So it's on page 7. So here is reboot my ATEM or the Mac Mini, or wow, I really don't want to click at these because this will actually do it. That one, what it does is it basically sends a little post request to my API to reboot devices. Although I think I actually broke it because I just moved all of my home automation stuff around, and this was part of it. So, yeah. Anyway, I need to fix that. Gonna add that to the list. Man, all I want to do is talk about home automation stuff. I really need to not do that. There's so much stuff to do. Ooh, can't get the Obsbot working with the Insta360 X3. Oh, I haven't tried the X3. I don't have that one yet. I swear I tested it with the X2 and it worked. That's strange. I don't know why that wouldn't work. I prefer something smart home or a single Wi-Fi power strip. So yeah, I actually got a Wi-Fi enabled power strip that I put at Lily's studio in the apartment. And I did that after we had a couple of problems with things like the Chromecast getting stuck. And the downside of the Wi-Fi ones is that if your Wi-Fi has a problem and that's the reason things are going wonky, then you're kind of stuck too. And depending on the product, the apps that come with them are like sometimes just garbage. So, yeah, that's why I got the hardwired one here, because it makes more sense here. But you can find like Zigbee power strips, which sometimes can work better if you already have like a smart home integration. So find whatever is going to work for you. But I think that's a great option to, use to be able to remotely reboot your stuff, because sometimes those things are hard to reach or they don't have power switches, for example, the ATEM, and then you have to like find the physical brick or unplug the back, and that's annoying. Have I looked at the OC Go stream? I have it right there, and I need to open it up and show you how it works, but that I have not had a chance since it arrived right before moving. But yes, it'll be coming out in a video on this channel soon, whatever that means. Lily needs a fly pack brought to you by Pelican and Aaron. Yeah, I'm really curious what we should do with that for her studio. So she has a countdown timer with music. Then she starts on her main shot like me. She definitely uses an overhead camera for a lot of things. And I had it rigged up pretty well at the apartment on a little crossbar, but there's not really room to leave it set up here because it'd be in the way of sitting down at the desk. And then, so we need to find a good top-down camera. Maybe mounting an iPhone on something would be better because then it's like there's more options. She actually has she got this little thing a while ago, which is like has an iPhone clamp and an arm that pulls up and a light all in like one kind of box. I forget what it's called now. So that could be a solution. And then she uses the chat, so that's a web capture. There's a couple of video clips for the middle, like the donut clip, and that's on the HyperDeck right now, but that would be easy to add into OBS as a little video playback. I'm just trying to think of what am I missing. Audio. So I guess audio is. Ooh, maybe she should use the Rode Streamer X because she has like that shotgun microphone, which is XLR, so she needs like an actual audio interface for it, and that is exactly what that thing is for. So maybe this is, oh my gosh, too many things in this room. Maybe this is a good excuse to put this to work. Oh, it's not in the box. What did I just knock over back here? Oh my god. I've got a box full of all my fun future home automation projects, like the unified door system, the Doorbird door system, which is so much nicer, and what I wanted to do was get this. This might be the right option for her stream. The Streamer X, because it has one, I kind of wish it had two HDMIs, but it has one HDMI in. So her main camera, we would not use the HDMI out, although actually maybe we would just to give her a confidence monitor. That could be a good use for that. And then there's two USBs, so we only need one to go to her computer, but the XLR mic interface. And then I wonder, so these play like sounds, but I wonder if these can be used for, I have to check if these can be used to like trigger things in Companion or something. And then these are the mute buttons, so not really helpful, but this might be a good option. This into OBS. I'll think about that. Streamer X. I think it's a great option for the Oh My Dollar live stream. Turning Point Communication says the 360 X3 in single screen webcam mode flashes with picture then goes blank. Oh, that sounds so weird. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, especially if you see the picture at one point. Yeah, that's a bummer. I maybe just go back to the X2 because I was pretty sure I tried it with the X2. It is a one-channel switcher, yeah. I mean, it's not really a switcher. It's a capture card that has. It's a capture card that has XLR audio in also, and buttons for playing sound banks and stuff. But I need to give it a proper test so I can actually talk about it better because, yeah. Again, just not had time with things moving. Oh yeah, it supports the Rode wireless mic, so you could be a guest on the stream sometimes. That's a good point. You can pair the wireless mics. Oh, speaking of wireless mics, oh my god. Rode has a new wireless Go or wireless mic that looks absolutely incredible. It's like the Rode Wireless Go 2 with dual mic transmitters, but now like the Wireless Me, the receiver also has a lav mic in, so you actually get 3 channels of recording. I guess technically 4 channels because it's stereo for some reason. But you get 3 mics, right? So you get a mic on each of those, so you can do 3 mics in, and it's a 32-bit float recorder. So the transmitters record internally 32-bit float, which is freaking incredible. I'm so impressed. Every microphone should be 32-bit microphone now. Like, there's no reason not to do that anymore. So that is great. I am very tempted to switch to those. We've been using the Rode Wireless Go 2 for the House Files podcasts because it's just so easy to slap them, to connect them into the DJI Pocket, which we usually use for filming, and got the little custom branded stickers for them from the PK1 shop. So these are the 2 sets that I have, one for my branding, one for the House Files branding, and this little sticker, it should work on the Pro also. This little sticker just sticks right on top of the Wireless Go to cover up the giant logo. So if you want to cover up the massive 0 here on the transmitters, there's actually one that you can use for this too with a little cutout. Where is it? It's somewhere in here. They'll send you like a bunch of copies of it in case there it is. That one has the, where's my focus point? There it is. You can see a little cutout in there for the screen. I don't know if it lines up with the Pro, but we'll find out soon. But at least works with the Go 2 right now. So we use that for the House Files podcast, and that way we are not just blaring the Rode logo on our clothing. But yeah, I'm really tempted by the Pros. Oh yeah, and AES encryption, that's right, which is very, very good. Emerald says Wireless Go Pro, but with 32-bit float and time. Oh, and time code too. That's right. I totally forgot about the time code. It looks great. It looks like a great option. The transmitters can probably use for lav or headset mics too. Yeah, there's a little input with actually they made a point of saying that it's a locking input, and if you look, you'll see that there are threads on it. So you can use it with a lav mic too, which is great. Stickers are a great idea. Thanks. Yeah, let me grab the link to those. Here is the link to the mic flag. And you can actually go and upload your where is it? Upload your own artwork to test it out. There's a little PSD template you can get with the lines here, so it'll make sure you know where to put your artwork. And then you can upload it and see what it looks like. David says, I'll let you know how it goes once it comes in. Oh, wait, what did you get? Did I miss something? I didn't see what you're ordering. Where did it go? Well, let me know what you're going to test. The Wireless Go Pro is a direct successor of the Go and Go 2. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it's a great evolution. Finally got around to add my Wireless Go 2 transmitter to the Pro 2. Meant to test that for months. Good, good. Oh, by the way, summer sale at NX3D. Good tip. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, you'll find that on the NX3D shops once you click through one of the products. Oh, there we go. Obsbot HDMI converter. Cool. Let us know how it goes. Yeah. The buttons on the Rodecaster Pro 2 can be configured as MIDI triggers, but haven't found a solution yet for Companion to take MIDI commands. You can probably run a MIDI to OSC converter and then send that into Companion. A little bit roundabout, but that might work. I'll have to try that. I think that'd be a good trick. David says, I'm wondering if there's any ability to enter your camera sources into a software program that can ultimately LUT or reprocess image quality that creators usually run through on pre-recorded uploads. Actually, yeah. A lot of the Blackmagic converters do it. So it's not all of them, but some of them, if you go look at the converters, SDI to HDMI, so it says 17-point LUT, and look for that on them. So I know there's other ones that do it too. Here's one. Looks like it's SDI to HDMI. Maybe the bidirectional one does it. I think actually not. Oh, yeah, it does. No, micro SDI to HDMI. Okay, so it's just that one. Here we go. 3D LUTs are included on the SDI to HDMI 12G. Oh, and the bidirectional 12G. Ah, right. Okay, so the bidirectional 12G models have it. The regular bidirectionals don't. But that means you can do it with, I don't know if it does it with HDMI pass-through, but it'll definitely do it if it converts. LUTs can be applied to the SDI loop output. So it's for exactly this, of live preview or live streaming with LUTs. So let me know if you're going from HDMI to SDI, or you're trying to go HDMI to HDMI or SDI to SDI or whatever it is, and we'll see if we can narrow down what you need for that. Oh yes, and the Atomos and also the Blackmagic monitor recorders can also output a LUT. OBS can also, yeah, that's, if you're streaming in OBS, that's great. If not, you're going to go through a bunch of extra hoops to get that back out as something. I think the dedicated little boxes are great for that. Was I at ResolveCon last year? I was doing the video streaming of it with Photo Joseph, and we were in the back of the room running the video booth. It was a lot of fun. Even with the mild disasters that happened the first day, once the hotel network just tanked. It was so frustrating because we had, obviously we're at like a hotel venue, so we know that we are going into like, it's a venue with, the premise of the event is, the 50 people or whatever are going to show up with computers and get on the internet to try things like download a file or from that the instructor is working on. So obviously we're not going to rely on the Wi-Fi. So we had hardwired everything, like everything. We had our own little network created, wired network with a wired uplink that we jacked into the hotel network closet. And it was like not even jacked into the conference room Ethernet jack. We like ran a long wire directly into the network closet. And I thought we were doing everything we needed to do, of like, we're not relying on the Wi-Fi that everybody else is on. We have our own private network created for our own devices. And then as we're streaming over the wired connection, as soon as the room filled up, the stream just like crashed. It just tanked. And I was like racking my brain trying to figure out what is going on. It's like our internet speed just goes down. And it turns out that like the actual hotel uplink just was extremely rate limited, and there was like nothing we could do about that. It was a mess. It was a mess. What we ended up having to do was like tell people to like download files during the breaks and not like use the internet connection. So anyway, it worked out the second day. It was totally fine the second day. So once we figured out that it was people's computers getting on the internet that was causing the whole thing to come down, we were able to fix the problem. So bring your own uplink is the moral of that story, I guess. So, which we also had it like as a backup, but it just didn't end up working great because I guess the software reception there wasn't good enough. Anyway, we did a whole debrief on that on a while ago. Did I do that on my channel or did I do that on Joseph's channel? If you want to hear more about the details, here it is. Oh, we dual streamed it. Here is the ResolveCon recap. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the hotel had a single internet connection that everything shared, and that internet connection, like, was not good. So it was like Comcast cable or something. So yeah. Yeah. Fun times. There's an app called MIDI to OSC. Yeah, that sounds familiar. That's my thought is if the Rode thing can send MIDI commands, then you can convert those. So I'll give that a try. Speaking of which, I just realized that we've blown past the 1 hour mark. So I guess it's a good time to wrap this up. Because man, I need some time to unpack all this stuff. And yeah, it'll be, hopefully I get some time to work on that today. I am back here for the next 2 weeks, and then I'm heading off to, I guess 3 weeks, and I'm heading off to IBC in Amsterdam. So if you are there, I will hopefully see you there. Feel free to stop and say hi. That'll be a lot of fun. And they don't have a lot of plans. It looks like we're not doing the Atomos project that we did at NAB. They don't have budget for it for IBC, but I'll probably bring a camera still and maybe record stuff from the show floor anyway. So it'll be fun to see what's going on and do a live stream with John Barker and Photo Joseph. We'll try to do something there together. Don't know exactly what it is, but that'll be a lot of fun. All right. I'm going to finish my coffee and get straightening this room up. It's just things are everywhere. I really need to reorganize all of my reorganize my drawers so that I can have things better categorized, because I realize that like some of my drawers have just gotten to be miscellaneous drawers, which is not great, and I have enough drawers that I should be able to fit things in where they should go. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to all the supporters of the channel. Thanks for the super chats, and yeah, if you would like to continue chatting throughout the week, become a member. You'll find a link to the members only Discord once you do that, and I'll probably post some pictures of me like going through all my stuff here and cleaning up, and then yeah, stop by if you're coming to IBC. Find me on the show floor. I'll be wandering around most of the time. It'll be a lot of fun. So thank you all for the questions. Thanks for the support. And yes, save home automation for the house files. I might need to do some house files live streams just to get some of this home automation stuff out of the way, because man, there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about. It's all starting to come together. All right. See you all later. And yeah, see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.